Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the winning streak. I'm your host, Bryson,
I'm Zeke.
and we are currently on episode 7. Before we get into the episode, we're sponsored by Wrist Mafia. Use code Bryson16513, 20% off all orders. We got a lot of topics today, probably the most yet, so we'll just get straight into it.
Yeah.
First topic, James Harden apparently has played his last game in Philadelphia, so where is he going next?
I think the most obvious teams would be the Clippers. Um, I guess if what we'll get onto with Dame in a minute, I guess the only other place I could think of is maybe Miami. And then of course like teams like the Knicks, big market teams
Yeah.
that have a lot of young like capital, they could trade out and end up with Harden, but I don't know if it's a great fit. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, Houston's still an option, and then I mean they have a little situation going on there with Jalen Green and Josh Christopher. But I
Yeah.
think James Harden to the Clippers makes the most sense if they can make those contracts work. I made a
Yeah,
little
the
mock
the
trade
fake
earlier.
one.
Might even post that one up on the page, to be honest.
I
But
think I think I just thought about it like a second ago. We were talking about this with Chris Paul before he got traded to the
mhm,
Spurs. Even wouldn't
yeah,
be a terrible idea. You get a scorer
Spurs
and a really good
for
passer for Wemby.
James Harden. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I could see that's a good like duo. But
just to
I don't
start
know.
Wemby's
I
career
don't
off.
think that's the most obvious team. He's not.
No.
He could be seen as a cancer to teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you would want to bring him into a young core like that. But I would say Clippers are just the clear favorite.
Yeah, Clippers. I feel like
Even I guess
I don't
the
know.
Lakers could be in contention for that, depending on what they deem his value to be. Because I mean, he's obviously not playing for Philly next season,
Yeah.
and they just picked up his option, so he could be a sign and trade. So
Yeah. The thing is
I
though,
don't know. I guess
if
like
I'm the
you could bring
Knicks,
him to
I'm
like
looking at
I don't know.
Embiid. I'm looking at Embiid before I look at Harden. If I'm the Knicks,
I don't think Embiid is
he definitely could
on
leave.
the trade block right now. To be honest, like I just don't see them wanting
Yeah.
to get rid of the MVP. Like
Yeah. Well, the fake
I don't know.
MVP.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
for
I
another
think that's
time, though.
really it.
Yeah, I think Clippers. I like
There
Spurs.
isn't
The
like a
idea
lot
of
of
the
news
Spurs,
about it. I
but
mean, that was not. I mean, that was Thursday when they picked up his option, right? So,
I think so. Yeah.
um, I don't. There hasn't been a ton of news about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he would even stay for next season. But I think Clippers
Yeah.
are
Pull a
just
Kyrie.
the clear.
Get all
Yeah,
that talk going to stay. We'll get into that.
yeah,
In recent news, today's news. Hopefully, the trade doesn't happen that we all know is going to happen before this goes out.
yeah,
But Dame finally officially requested the trade after
yeah.
being the most undecisive player in NBA history for the past
Pretending
couple
like he didn't
weeks.
want out for like a
Yeah,
month and then
ridiculous.
requesting
I mean,
trade. But I
everyone knew he
mean
wanted out. He
that
literally
the
was on Instagram Live saying, "I would love to go play for a different team." Like, you don't do that if you want to
yeah,
stay
like
on the
I
team.
mean I think like as I was saying to you before was like Jeremy Grant's contract.
Yeah, that.
If I'm Damon, I see that I'm never talking to the organization ever
Yeah.
again. So like
So the Heat,
um because I
like
mean
we were just
5 year
saying,
160 million,
yeah,
disgusting.
it's really
Um
gross.
but
I think
like
Dame fits
Miami's
best on the Heat.
obvious.
Yeah, for sure.
Apparently he wants to play for the Heat. That's his
Mm.
the only team he's like been talked up to play with. But I guess
I saw the Heat, and
technically,
I saw earlier he actually said apparently the Spurs he would be interested in. But if
uh
you're just gonna go from Portland to the Spurs, what are you
that
doing?
doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly. I think Philly could be a possibility in like a three-team
Mm.
kind of trade with the not including Miami, kind of like the deal I was showing you
Yeah.
earlier, where
Mm.
they send him to um
Send him to
I don't know,
Philly,
I don't yeah, and
Harden to
then
Clippers,
send
and then Portland
yeah,
gets a ton of building
stuff
value.
from both teams pretty
Yeah.
much.
They could. I mean, they could do that. The Blazers are going to need that. They've been needing
Yeah,
that. So I honestly wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if they trade him, and then they just try to get another star out of it because
yeah.
they
I
seem to
wouldn't
be
be
really
surprised.
stupid with their organization.
Yeah,
Like they
but I
don't
mean
seem to
like
know what they're doing even.
yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
So I think best solution. We were talking about it. Like I know, like it would. We'd have to see how the contract and stuff would match up, but I think trading Dame for like Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, maybe someone else on a really low contract, like a bench player, and then 3 or 4 first-round picks for Dame.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, with the Heat, they just lost Gabe Vincent and I've blanked on this dude's name every single time I bring him up. Crap. He just got signed to a pretty decent deal from the Heat.
I forget what his
Max
name is.
Strus, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they
Yeah, he
lost
signed a
2
pretty big deal
key
with
players in the
Cleveland. I don't
playoffs.
think that was a good deal for Cleveland at all because I
No,
don't think he's good at all. But
he's decent, but he's not good enough for what he got.
he's not like 60 million good.
No.
But I mean, like guys like Jake Jacopoto, he got like a 4-year 80 mil from
Yeah, it's a
Toronto
little down the
after
list.
he was saying he wanted to play for a contender. So
Yeah, you
I
can't
mean,
be Jacob
he could.
Puedo and
Yeah,
be saying you want to play for contender because you're not contender worthy to play on that team.
he is contender
I don't
worthy.
think
I'll
he's
say
that
that
good.
he would be the starting center or power forward on like 20 out of 20 NBA teams probably.
Maybe. He hasn't really made a big enough name for himself yet to be saying that kind of stuff though.
I think he's a
Like
talent
he's
personally.
decent, but he hasn't done anything special yet in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess.
So he could though. We'll get
Hmm.
into some of the new signings though. I think we covered Dame. He's going to the Heat. There's
Yeah, that's pretty
if
much a
he doesn't go
lock.
to the Heat, it's gonna be one of the biggest surprises I've seen in the
Mm.
NBA because it's basically a lock at this point. But
Yeah.
the Wizards strike again with awful contracts.
The
I
Kuzma
mean,
contract, you think?
I
I
think it's
don't
pretty
think the
bad.
Kuzma contract's bad.
I think it's pretty bad.
I
He's
think you just
good.
got to think about it like ahead. Like every contract is going to look bad right now. So,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean,
unless
but
stars and do you remember last year when every star was getting 50 plus mil?
yeah,
Every
I wouldn't
contract looked
consider
bad then
him.
too. So like,
I mean, I would consider him a star, but not like that. He's playing like I said last
he's like a
episode. If you
20-point
play for the
scorer every game.
yeah, but
So
like I
like,
said last episode, you play for the Wizards. If you are anywhere above average, you're gonna average quite a bit because you're the only one who needs to shoot on that team.
I
I
guess.
can't name many players on the Wizards, honestly, other than Kuzma
I mean,
and Poole now. But
Jordan
like, I mean,
Poole.
they're building a team
I almost
now.
said Rui Hachimura, but Rui Hachimura re-signed with
Yeah,
the Lakers after
I
getting
think
traded last
Jordan
season.
Poole is gonna do way better than Kuzma next year on the Wizards.
Hmm.
So I think, I mean, it is over
Well, they're supposed
4 years,
to be
so
like their
102
youngster.
million, 4
That's only
years.
25, and I think he was making 18 before, so I don't really think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think he's worth around 18 or 19 though. I don't think
I
you
don't know.
could
I
give him
think the
that
market
much.
changes, and I think right now the
Yeah,
market's super inflated
yeah,
with teams trying to keep their players on the same team. Because I mean, if you're Washington, that's another team you have to overpay. Who wants to live in
yeah. That's
Washington
true.
D.C. for starters? Like,
Yeah,
um, that's really all I
not
gotta
many
say. I mean,
people.
they're the exact same way as like Indiana or like Portland, for example.
Yeah,
They have to overpay their players.
we'll get
You
to
could
that
even
for
say that
sure.
like currently San Antonio or like Detroit, especially like Detroit would have to
Yeah,
overpay.
yeah. I mean,
That's just like
Detroit's not
that's
even
just
really
what
doing
happened.
that yet though,
Yeah,
so they got to figure that
they
out
have
for
a
sure.
okay core, but they're not great. I mean, Cade Cunningham's okay, doing a
He's
lot
mid.
better than Jalen Green, same class.
Recent video surfacing. We're not gonna show that, but
Yeah, yeah, I don't.
his stroke game
I
crazy
don't.
on the court and stuff. On the court and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I'm not gonna
uh,
lie.
Torian Prince to the Lakers. They're picking up some good bench
Prince.
pieces. 1 year, 4.5 mil. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good
Minimum,
signing
pretty
for a
much. Oh,
bench.
I don't know
Yeah,
if that's minimum currently. I think that's like something like that.
yeah. He's a
Did
good
you
bench
see
piece
like
though. Can back
like
up 80.
ESPN post about like the King and Prince have met or something like that, bro? Like
What are you talking about?
because he signed with because Torian Prince and LeBron.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. No, I did not see that. Are they
It's so
seriously
stupid.
still
Like
talking about LeBron every single post?
yes, like what does Torian Prince have to do with LeBron? They just wanted to talk about LeBron.
Yeah,
Jackson Hayes, I actually wanted Jackson Hayes on the Suns, but I mean, I
I
think
know.
he
I was
probably
thinking
signed
that too.
minimum. I remember he was
Yeah,
in
it's a
like jail
2-year
before last season,
undisclosed
so I think
money.
that might be why he's
Was he?
he got arrested. I remember seeing a video of him being like tased by a bunch of cops.
I did not see that. He's
I
good
think
though.
he's okay. I mean, like he
I think he's pretty
very
underrated.
athletic. I mean, I would have liked him on the Suns.
Mm.
If you remember, I was talking about one of the Suns a while back.
Yeah, super good bench piece
Him
again.
and Kai Jones from the Hornets would have been cool.
Yeah, I think I did forget to add one onto this. I'm gonna look it up. We can get into D'Lo because I'm not sure how I'm really feeling about that one.
I'm
Honestly,
content with that contract, to be honest.
I just think it's kind of
37
weird.
over 2 years. I mean, that's 18 and a half projected.
Yeah,
So,
he
I
just
mean,
played so bad last season for the Lakers. I mean, he
I
could
don't
definitely
think that
improve. It was a late season trade, so he didn't. I mean, you could say he didn't have that much time to fit in.
there's the argument there. Are you going to let him walk or are you going to They didn't send
Yeah,
that many assets, but they traded for him at the All-Star break. So like you're going to just throw away those assets for one bad postseason.
yeah, that's true, I guess.
So, I
But
think you
you could
keep
get
him in
value
that
out of him still.
situation and he's still worth like I guess like one first round pick.
Yeah, I think you could get like 2 decent bench pieces out of him, and especially
Yeah.
with the Lakers also just signing Gabe Vincent to a 3-year, $33 million. I
I
think
mean
that was an
that's solid. That's
amazing
mid-level, I
sign by
think.
the Lakers. He's a good piece to have,
I
and
don't think
only
Gabe
11
Vincent
mil
is
per
like
year is pretty crazy.
insane, but I think he's solid. I think that contract is like right where he fits at. He had like one good like not off season, postseason, so you can't really
Yeah,
like.
and he was
I
one of the
think in that
main
situation, that's like fair
like
pay. That's fair pay there, and I think that's
yeah,
probably where Bruce Brown should have been getting paid, and we'll get onto that
yeah,
next. But
yeah.
I
We
mean,
could.
yeah,
You could say Bruce Brown should get that much, but I think Gabe Vincent was one of the bigger pieces in Miami's run. Honestly, he was one of the best
I
role players for
guess
the
you could
team.
say that, and I think it's a part of it was they kind of got lucky on that run, especially like in
Yeah,
the conference finals, because
with
none of
how
them were
good all their
playing
players
good, but
did.
yet
Yeah,
they still won the series.
Celtics were just worse
Yeah, the
somehow.
Celtics just played horrible.
We should talk about the Celtics later. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
So Bruce Brown, Pacers signed him for 2 years, $45 million. That one is kind of weird.
I think a part of that was he was probably supposed to be around like 2 year 30 million,
Mm,
and they just had to do like a little bit of of an overpay because he's playing in Indiana. So I think that's really
yeah,
about it.
coming off winning a championship, being a good leader for the team, I guess you could be.
Hmm.
It's not like the worst thing I've ever
That's not the
seen, but
worst overpay I've seen. I mean, I remember like Chandler Parsons was making 28 million in 2016
yeah,
on a 5 year contract. So,
yeah.
um,
Speaking
I
of
think he's like
5-year
disabled now.
contracts,
Completely random, but I'm pretty sure like
is
Chandler
he?
Parsons can't walk or something like that. He got in like a car accident in like 2021 or something like that.
I did not know that. Well, prayers
All I
up to
remember is
him then.
he used to like date Kendall Jenner. I think I don't remember.
That's what happened.
He definitely was not a starter on her super team.
Our super team roster. Tyrese Halliburton. This one was. You were saying this one's not too bad. I think this one's pretty
I
bad. five
actually
year, 260 million.
I mean, if you do the math on that, what is that like?
It's
Mm,
40. Shoot. I'm gonna use my calculator. I'm not that smart. I'm not gonna lie. Math is not my
uh,
strong spot.
I I think
260.
that's a little over 550, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's 52.
52. Yeah, okay.
52 million a year for Halliburton.
I'd imagine that's backloaded though. So,
Probably, but still, like they're just handing out contracts to a lot of just random players.
well,
I'm not gonna call him a random player. He's really good,
I
but
think
he's not 52
realistically
million a
he
year.
would be making like if he was playing for a big market team like the Knicks, he'd probably be sitting at about 40. So,
Yeah,
I think that might be the difference
maybe.
there
I don't know.
is the
I feel like
slight
he's.
overpay. But I think
Yeah,
that's a super max, right? So
I
I don't
think so.
really
Yeah,
know how he ended up with the super max. His agent must have
I'm pretty
really
sure he's
like told
making
him he
more
wasn't
than
going to resign.
Book and Tatum, isn't he?
Hmm.
So,
Well,
like
no,
that's the thing I'm looking at.
I think Tatum's eligible for the same contract, but he'll probably sign that same contract.
He's probably not going to get it though, because they have to sign him and Jaylen Brown, who thinks he's worth the supermax, and if
I don't
not, they're
think
going to have to
Jaylen
get
Brown
rid of
is
one of them.
re-signed, so I think that's the
Yeah.
problem. I think he's going to go join Jalen Green.
If they got rid of Marcus Smart though, just to get rid of Jaylen Brown, that's going to be pretty just stupid.
Yeah,
honestly.
that would suck for them if they can't
Because
hold
Marcus
both
Smart,
after trading away
yeah,
Marcus Smart.
yeah,
And
and I think they should have
more
traded Jaylen
integral to
Brown
that team than
first.
Jaylen Brown too.
Yeah,
So
I've been saying like he was. I'm not gonna say he was the heart of the team, but every fan loved him. He was a huge part of the team. He was all hustle, all I can take the charge, I can do anything, any position you put me in, I'll do it. And like he was just the biggest contributor to the team in my opinion in that way.
yeah, I think
He
so.
wasn't a star, but he was great
could be
defensively.
considered a star, but like
Yeah.
he wasn't like a superstar like Jason Tatum. But I don't think the
Yeah.
gap between them is very big. So,
But it's because he knew his position.
yeah,
Like
I think
Jason
that's
Tatum
part of
and Jaylen Brown don't know their position. He was willing to put aside everything and do what he was told to play on that team.
How
And
did
then
we
they just
get
got rid of
onto
him.
talking about Jaylen Brown right now? We were just talking about Tyrese Halliburton. It's like
Because we were talking about Tatum's contract, and then I was saying you gotta pay
yeah.
both of them.
we got a little sidetracked.
I forgot we're gonna talk about Celtics later, not right now.
Yeah.
Then Chris Middleton re-signed with the Bucks, 3-year, $102 million. It's pretty fair.
Yeah, I like
that.
I think I mentioned it last episode how he rejected his option, and I kind of felt that was gonna happen. He was gonna sign something a tiny bit more team friendly.
Yeah.
Over a few more
same
years.
with Drew Holiday probably, just to free up like a little bit of cap space. And
I don't know
bring
if he
in
really
tiny
freed up
bit
because
more
I
help.
think he was making $36 million before, and I think on that contract he'd be making like 33 or something like that.
Oh really?
Matt, get away from my door. I'm busy.
Yeah, and then I think I was hearing a lot about the Bucks getting rid of either Chris or Drew, and then potentially signing Dame. But I don't think that's even in the
Give me a second.
in an option. Okay, and we're back from technical baby difficulties.
Yeah.
I was just saying, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. I heard a lot about them getting rid of one of them, trying to bring in Dame. That would have been just too gross of a team, pairing Giannis and Dame.
So that would be too insane.
It'd be like I'm not even gonna compare that, but it'd be a pretty crazy duo. I was gonna say like modern day Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, that's what
Okay, it's not too crazy though.
That's like as close as you're gonna get though, because I mean Dame is, in my opinion, you'll argue this, but I think he's like probably the second best point guard of this era. So
we already discussed the whole Kyrie versus Dame thing. I'll give him third for your sake.
Well, I kind of forgot Chris Paul there. So I guess
Steph,
I'll put him
Kyrie, Dame.
You're gonna put
Chris
Kyrie
Paul.
second.
Yeah.
You're gonna put Kyrie second.
Yeah.
He did nothing. He did literally nothing.
I'm putting Kyrie second.
In the past 10 years, he got a ring with LeBron.
How about we get back to the topic?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What has Dame done, bro?
He played for a bad team.
That's
but at least he's a first option. Like, Kyrie wouldn't know anything about being a first option.
Kyrie could easily be a first option, but he wants to go to super teams and play.
Okay.
Because he wants to win.
He's not
stupid like Dame.
He would rather post on Twitter.
I would too.
Yeah, I guess.
KD kind of seems that way too.
Yeah, we got off track.
We'll go back to Poet, or however you pronounce his name. 4-year, $80 million. I don't think he's worth $20 million a year. But he's not.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but I mean.
Yeah, maybe like.
I guess the Raptors really
16. Yeah, I mean they do. They're also another team that might have to overpay a little bit.
That's another team that. The Raptors got Dennis Schroeder too. I mean that's an okay pickup. I think
2-year, $26 million is really good.
We'll get on to their guard that left, Fred VanVleet.
Oh my God. Yeah, so. I think that's a really good contract, actually. $13 million a year for Schroeder.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
do you remember
solid.
when he rejected like a max from the Lakers some years ago?
Yeah, that was something. I forgot about that until earlier, and I saw a comment
with the Celtics. Dude, that was the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's kind of a good thing for the Lakers, though.
Yeah. That would have
Like
been a big mistake.
Lakers, that could have ruined everything for them, honestly, if
And
they
then
would have signed him to a
he,
max and he was an average role
and then
player,
he came
above
back.
average. Yeah. So I think he'll be good. I think he'll probably shine more on the Raptors now that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he could have not a breakout season, but he could have a really good season. And then
Yeah.
Cam Johnson, 4-year, $108 million from the Nets.
I think that's probably right where he's going to sit at in this market.
I think it's a little early to give him that much, but I think he could end up
25
being worth
mil is
that.
just like, that's really where, like,
It's kind of weird to give him that much
it's
this
not.
early.
Well, if you check on the rest of the market, he's better than everybody else that's getting contracts like that. I mean, I'd say that Cam Johnson is
Yeah, I
better
guess
than
so.
Desmond Bain, and we saw his contract.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. That one is ridiculous.
I'd say that he's on the same, not same level. He's a little bit like, I mean, they're not
Then
similar players at
who?
all, but I mean, I was going to say Fred VanVleet. They're not that far apart as players.
I
I mean,
might
Fred
give.
VanVleet. Well,
I mean, I don't know. I might
no,
give
Fred
Cam
VanVleet is
Johnson
a
a little bit of an
20-point
edge
scorer.
next year. Next year.
20-point scorer. I don't know.
Or no, next year. We'll just get into it. Next year, Van Fleet will be on the Rockets, so he'll have the
Yeah.
edge probably because Cam's still playing with Macau. Fred Van Fleet,
Yeah.
3-year, $130 million.
That's the worst contract I've seen in
I think
probably
so.
NBA history.
Yeah. How much is that even, dude?
That would
Like,
be
that'd be 43 a year?
yeah, he's gonna be making more than Curry next year, I
I'm
think.
pretty sure I was looking at it last night. I think he's one of the top 5 highest paid players in the league now.
No, because there's
I'm pretty sure.
I think Dame
Or he's number 6 or something.
KD.
Here, I'll
I
look
think
it
even
back up
Beal
real
makes
quick.
more than him. LeBron makes a little bit more than him.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's 1.5 behind LeBron, if I'm correct.
He couldn't be that far off. He's
Player
probably top 10.
salaries. So he's making 43. Shoot, where'd I go? Let's see this. Where'd it go? I was just on it. Give me 1 second to get there.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
I lost it, but I'm pretty sure last night I saw it was at least
He's probably like
top 5.
7.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
If that either
But
way, that's insane. He's
that's
not
just like
worth top
a
20
horrific
highest
contract,
paid.
So I mean,
Where would
I
you
don't
put
think
him
that's
in the league right now?
I don't
Top
think
30, 40?
he
Like,
like probably
I could
slips
probably
in
name
at
30 players
30.
better than him, honestly.
Well,
Like, I
I
wouldn't be
think
surprised.
30 players make the All-Star game every year, right? So,
Yeah,
and he isn't
and
an
he's not
All-Star.
one of them. So that's already bad enough. I could probably name you 40 or 50 then, in that case. But I just think that's, like, the
Yeah.
worst contract, I think, like you said, I've ever seen.
I
Because
think
he's done...
there's maybe
What
only
has
one
he
other
done?
contract that I think might be worse this entire offseason. I think that would be Desmond Bain.
Yeah, but... Seth Curry... When I first saw to the Mavs, I thought it was Steph, and I was going to say there's no way.
Bro.
But Seth Curry, 2-year undisclosed payment to the Mavs. I
so
love Seth Curry. You know
Steph.
that. I've
Yeah.
talked about him for a couple years in a row now, how he's one of the most underrated players. And his 3-point percentage shows that. His just, I won't say contributions because he never really gets a chance to show himself and show what he can do, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think he's worth whatever they pay him, as long as it's under.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's worth maybe $12 million a year. He could get like
A year? No.
maybe.
I don't think so.
I mean, if he gets his chance to shine on that team, he could easily be worth it.
He isn't. So
Yeah,
I think he's probably going to be sitting at
He could
about like
start.
4.5, probably.
he'll back up Kyrie. So
Yeah,
4.5.
I guess that would be like vet minimum, I think. And
Yeah,
I think that's just about where he sits at.
and then Kyrie, after all that, re-signed. After us talking
Yeah.
about him about every other episode now for the past month, he re-signs to the Mavericks. 3-year, $126 million.
Mhm.
Fred VanVleet is making more than Kyrie Irving.
That's disgusting. I think that's probably
That's scary,
right
dude.
where Kyrie fits at because you got to worry about the fact that what if he like decides he doesn't want to play or something,
Yeah,
and you
no, I
have
agree
all
with
that
that.
cap space filled up. I
After
think
they miss
that
the playoffs again, he'll probably move to the Suns for a minute.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's a good contract for him, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Mavs kind of got it going for them right now, honestly. So I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out with him, though. Like people always say he's a cancer to the locker room, but you always say
Yeah,
like it's just
yeah.
like COVID and media and stuff. Like he's really not.
He
He
isn't
does get injured.
necessarily a cancer. I think he has issues with being NBA team friendly, and I think that's a problem. And that he
Yeah.
likes to talk about what he believes. I guess that's just really his thing. So
Mm.
I
And I
think
mean, I
that's
can get
probably
behind that. It's
yeah.
understandable. Like
Honestly,
if
I don't have a
you're
problem with just like I didn't have that big of a problem with like John Morant. Like
La China.
this is. I
I
think
had to.
like with the John Morant situation, like this is America. Like let's be
Yeah.
real, it wasn't that big of a deal.
No,
Um,
it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I can understand part
I
of
get
it.
why the league
Adams
has
over
been mean.
told
He
him,
was being
"Don't be
dumb.
doing that." Yeah, he was
He
being really
wasn't it.
stupid.
So
He wants to act hard. He wants to act like he's a gang member and like stuff like that. Like
yeah,
it's
it's just
stupid.
stupid.
But
Like
if it was just him flashing a gun without all that, and they still had that kind of
yeah,
reaction, then it would be really stupid. Because I bet
it's just
you
like
a majority of players have guns just for protection and stuff.
yeah, like.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. Like you're not gonna see them flashing it around like he did, but still, you're not gonna go raid their
But I guess
house
like
because they they had a
I
gun. They
was gonna
saw it on
say
the
it's
internet.
like the NBA's kind of always had like a gun policy like that, and then I really thought I was like, never mind. I was thinking like Gilbert Arenas, like he like almost shot his teammate in the locker room.
Yeah,
So like, I mean, he got like a 1 season suspension for that too. So like,
yeah. And Kyrie got suspended for a majority of his season for doing really nothing even close to that.
he didn't
So
get suspended though. He was like,
Kyrie.
it just yeah, he wasn't suspended by the league.
I mean, why did I say Kyrie? Ja.
Oh,
I
that's
don't.
okay.
Whoops. No,
Yeah.
I meant John Morant. I don't know why I said
Well, I
Kyrie.
mean, he only got 25 games. That's not that big of a deal. Players get like 25
Yeah,
games for like
that's like a
stuff.
little, a little over a quarter of the season
Yeah.
on a team
I
that's
mean,
hoping to contend and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of a bigger deal.
they play better without him. If you check like
That's
stats, you
true.
remember when
Yeah, I
they went
remember
like
that last
23 and
year.
0 without him or something
Yeah,
like that.
last year it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like it almost makes you wonder. Like, damn it. It almost makes you wonder if he's a cancer to his team in a way. Like we never really hear or see anything about that, but it's possible. Like who knows
hmm
if he doesn't just pull a Gilbert Arenas every day, pull up with a gun in the locker room. He's like, you guys better
When he
make this
finds out
shot or
that
I'll
he
kill
can't
all of you.
resign because Desmond Bain took up all the cap space. And
let's,
we can
let's
get
get into
onto
that.
that
We'll,
right
we'll do
now.
that one first. Desmond
Yeah.
Bain, 5 year,
5 years.
$207 million. That's pretty
That's
just
as bad as it
gross.
gets.
Like he's for a lot of
That's
people,
Chandler
he's a
Parsons
player where
level.
people go, who is he?
I
Like
mean, I know who
not for
Desmond
me.
Bain is.
I know who Desmond Bain is personally.
I
Obviously,
think
he's
he's
good.
good, but I think he's about 20
He's not
mil a
worth
year max good.
42 million a year, 41 or something. Like he's
He
not
should
worth
have been
that.
sitting about like what Cam Johnson was getting paid.
If that,
Yeah.
like he could have been on a 5 year, 80 to 90, if anything. Honestly,
I don't
like
know about that.
he's
I
good,
think
but he's not. He has no
I think he should be
huge
sitting at about
impact, in
20
my
million
opinion.
a year. So I think 5 year 100 million would have been probably
Yeah, like I
his
can't
actual
imagine the
limit.
Grizzlies overpaying someone by $108 million. That's just
Like being in Memphis, you have to overpay a tiny bit. That's why I could see like even doing like
yeah,
5 year 125 million because that's only 5 million more a year
yeah.
when you really
But
get into it.
still,
So like
even then,
that I would be like, and then I'd be like, okay, yeah, to overpay
yeah,
a little bit. But 207 million, like
yeah. It's
that's
pretty. It's pretty stupid on their end. But I
yeah,
mean, like, can you imagine he he comes out next year? He's like just prime Westbrook or something like that.
yeah.
Like you
This is
never
like
know. He seems like a player. He still has a higher ceiling. that he could achieve, in my opinion. He could get
Yeah,
better.
I mean, he could be like a low and all-star
Yeah,
eventually.
but he's not yet, and that's why I think this was a pretty stupid re-sign. It was a good re-sign, but not for that much, is what I meant.
He kind of reminds me of a guy like Julius Randle, like that one year when Julius Randle made the All-Star game.
Hmm.
So a player
Yeah.
that could end up being like a low and all-star. I think that's as good as it's really gonna
Yeah. And then Grizzlies also signed
go. D
D
Rose,
Rose,
hometown hero. D Rose.
2-year
That's cool.
undisclosed
I was,
payment already. I
I
think that's
was,
pretty good.
I like that. 'Cause, I mean, I said hometown hero, but he's not from Memphis. He just plays there in college.
Yeah.
Um,
He'll be
for
a good
one
starter
season,
for 25
hardly,
games.
hardly,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good starter for 25 games. Hopefully a good role model for Gun Morant.
Ja. I don't
Like,
know because I mean, D Rose had his own issues.
yeah, but still. I mean,
Which I won't say because might technically be slander because I think that case might be over. I don't know. I don't
yeah,
really know how that works. Libel or something like that.
I don't even
Um,
know. But I think it's a pretty good pickup, depending how much they paid him. I
yeah,
haven't seen the payment yet,
I'm
so they could
assuming
have.
it's probably minimum because I don't know if any team was even interested in him like that.
Yeah, which is
Also,
sad.
like I've noticed like deals where they just say undisclosed. I just assume it must be minimum if they don't
Yeah,
disclose it immediately.
I will
That or
say,
it
though,
might be
as much
minimum
as I'm not
exception,
like
I guess.
as much as I'm not a big fan of D Rose, which might get me killed for saying this on the podcast, but D Rose, I've never been like a huge fan of him, but he's not worth just getting traded around at this point, in my opinion. And like
Yeah,
at the point he had in his career, it's kind of hard to see how just big of a fall off someone can have, like from an
yeah.
injury like that.
I
So
mean, I feel bad for him in that regard.
yeah,
Like, probably
it's
the
like
biggest like investment in the NBA player in recent memory.
yeah,
MVP
he is
to a
definitely one of the
minimum
biggest
player
what
of the year.
ifs in my opinion still, but
Yeah,
I just don't like the hype the media gives him for the 1 year he had, where he
yeah. Well, I mean, he was good from
realistically,
like 2011 to 2015.
yeah,
He had
but
injury issues
the
throughout there.
overhyped MVP year, realistically,
Yeah,
he was a contender for the MVP. I think like
LeBron probably deserved
Braun
it a
should
little
have
bit more.
five-peated that one. Like
Yeah,
he earned it more. He had the better stats. I don't want to say better team because I'm really not sure on that end. I don't think so though.
Miami would be
Were they better in that
significant.
season,
I
record wise?
That's actually that's a
What
good
season
question
was
because
it?
I think that would be 2011. I think that the Bulls might have been first seed that year.
I'm pretty sure they were. That's why I was trying to kind of stop myself there. Okay. Oh yeah. So Bulls were 62-20, and the Heat were 58-24. So I mean, you could argue that his team was better, but
I mean,
still,
clearly not. They didn't win the championship that year, so
yeah.
I mean, neither
And
did
Braun just had
Miami.
the better
So
stats. It was
it was the Mavericks year, I think.
oh yeah, Dirk. I
Unless it
forgot. Yeah,
was that 2010?
it was Spurs or
No,
Mavericks. I don't remember.
2010 was Lakers Celtics again, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think. Okay, just to make sure we don't sound stupid on the podcast.
Dude, I'm like my memory's failing right here.
It was. I want to say it was the Mavericks. It was the Mavericks. 2011 was the Mavericks year, but I'm
Yeah, okay.
going to check again.
I was trying to make sure it wasn't the first year they
Mavericks,
played
Mavericks,
OKC or something like that.
Mavericks. Yeah, so the Mavericks won in 6 games against the Heat, which messed up LeBron's legacy a bit, but
Yeah.
but I mean that was a crazy year for the Mavericks, so I'll give them
Eight
that.
points in
Yeah, that was bad,
Wemby numbers.
but
Not my
I
go.
mean, Wemby numbers. But I mean, I'll give him,
He
I'll
got
give D
locked in by
Rose
JJ
credit
Barrera.
for what he did that year. He was fun to watch. He was a crazy player,
Yeah, he's
but
a great guard. I
still,
mean, that's
just
really like everything that we know right now, and I think that's gonna be until guys like Jaylen Brown get moved around or big trades with Dame and Harden.
yeah.
That's
I
probably all the news
think
we're gonna get till maybe like even next week.
yeah, there
So
was 2 more topics I want to talk about. First was bringing back the Zion talk because I'm still kind of interested to see what's going to go on with him playing, like what team. I feel like the
I
Pelicans are going to end
think
up trading him. Like there's
I
going to be
think the
some
Knicks.
random unexpected blockbuster trade with Zion.
I don't really know how blockbuster it's going to be though. I think his value really tanked in the last like 2 years.
Yeah,
So I
but just
think
the fact that him and his family came out and said he's gonna
yeah.
sit to not play with New Orleans, which seems stupid this year, but beforehand it was understandable up
I
until
still
this
don't
year.
think it's understandable. I'm not really a fan of
Yeah,
players sitting unless it's a super bad situation. I don't think
I
even
get
the
that. Yeah,
situation that he has the leverage to sit, he doesn't
no,
play.
mm, I
So
agree with you there, but
he isn't central to that team. They'll make the playoffs without him.
yeah,
So
I just think
I
he's
just
still when he did play, he was
I
insane.
mean, yeah, he can probably give you 28 points a night, but if he doesn't play,
Yeah,
he's useless. He's
he
worth
could give you
nothing
like
to the
he give you
Pelicans if he's not going to play.
27, like 10 or 11 boards and like 3 blocks if he wanted to. Like if he
Yeah.
gets the hustle back and he can stay not injured and um fat
Yeah.
and stay away from models. We'll
Dude,
call them.
what was going on with the 2019 class, bro? Or was that 2019
Yeah,
class, dude.
I don't know.
I saw this thing that was like, okay, I can't even say that out loud. I'm not gonna continue.
Yeah, good
Um,
idea. You'll tell me after. But then I think we talked about the Knicks and the Hornets. I think those would
mhm.
still be two of the
I don't
best
think the Hornets
fits.
make a lot of sense to be honest, unless they're gonna trade Brandon Miller. So, which
Yeah.
isn't gonna happen.
Well, you
So,
could
I
trade.
don't really know.
I feel like they could trade
You want to have
T.J.
two injury
Washington,
prone.
Miles Bridges, and a bunch of picks, and the Pelicans would be willing to give up Zion
I
at
don't
this
think you
point,
have to send that many picks either. I think you probably only need to send like
two
two
or
first
three.
round picks.
Yeah, which I think that would work out fine. They get a couple of really good role players
Yeah, I
in P.J.
guess. I don't
Washington.
know.
You could
I
even
guess if
trade
I'm
James Bonite from the G League because that dude's insane. He just doesn't get playing time for some reason. If you watch him, you'll see like that dude deserves playing time.
I don't know.
But
I think Charlotte just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I mean,
mm,
why would you want to run your team centered around having LaMelo and Zion, two very injury prone players? It's
yeah,
like
that is true. I mean, I just don't like even though he apparently is, I hate calling Zion injury prone just because it seems more like he just has
he's
personal issues he doesn't like to
I keep catching myself from saying
disclose.
crazy things about Zion right now, and
We'll move on in a second. I just think LaMelo and Zion would be insane
I
duo.
think it would be cool until they get injured
Yeah,
before the All-Star break, and then
yeah.
they end up getting second in the lottery next year.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
And then
I think that's really about it right now. I don't know if there's really any other big deals. I mean, like Yuta Watanabe to the Suns. I mean, they picked
Suns,
up
that's
like
going to be
six
good.
players yesterday for the
45%
bench.
3-point shooter. That's
Yeah,
going to be good. I did want to bring up, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. You think Jaylen Brown will end up leaving? Because I feel
I
like
think at this
I've
point
been
it's a
saying,
lock. He's probably going to Houston.
I just don't think you get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They both think they're the number one option, as we heard him say last
Hmm.
season. They have, at this point, probably from playing with each other, similar play styles. Jaylen Brown might have leverage on him because his
Yeah.
hustle and defense. And
Well, they're not going to let
they
Jason Tatum walk. There's just no way
exactly
there.
though. Like I just
Because
don't
Jason
understand that though.
Tatum is the star player, and that's just he's going to make the All Star game every year. He's going to be in the MVP conversation, and then Jalen Brown is like a
Again,
few
even
steps
though he's
behind
not.
him.
Mm. I think you could just get like if I'm the Celtics, I don't want to trade either of them. Obviously, you're gonna
But in
probably
that
have to though.
situation, you're going to want to try to sign and trade Jalen
I
Brown if
just
you
think
can.
you could get so much more value for Tatum though. You could get
Well,
a
yeah,
different
you're going to get
star,
more, but then you're going to have to
and you could keep
restart.
Jaylen Brown. Well, I mean, you could give Jaylen Brown Tatum's position. It's more of like a trust thing. You have to trust that he's actually
You would
who he
have to
says he's
trust
gonna
that
be.
he's going to
Basically,
play at the same
what the
level,
Pacers
which
seem
I
to be
don't
doing
think
with
he's that.
Halliburton.
I guess, but I think Halliburton would be a starting point guard on every single team in the NBA. So
Really?
yes,
I
I
think
think
there's a
in that
couple
situation,
super teams now that could go and have him like the Suns wouldn't want him starting at point guard right now.
why not?
Mavericks probably wouldn't because they have. I mean, we have
Kyrie can play
Beal
point guard.
and then what's Luka gonna play? Small forward?
Yeah, he can play power
I
forward if
guess
he
so.
wants to. He's
Yeah,
6 foot like 8, I guess.
that is true. I forgot how big he is.
I
But yeah, I
also
think
Halliburton is almost like a point forward. He's bigger. He's like almost 6'6". So,
Oh, is he?
yeah,
Oh,
I
I didn't even know
think
that. I thought he was
I
pretty
might have
short.
made that up. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'5".
Halliburton size. My fault. 6'5" with the wingspan of 6'7.5". So
Okay.
he's got he's got
He's
decent
shooting guard
height.
size, but can pass the ball
Yeah,
at the
I
highest
think you're
level in the
right. He
NBA.
could start on probably any NBA team right now. But Jaylen Brown also could, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown can start for any team in the NBA.
I mean, obviously Tatum could too, though. So that's kind of the thing that you just got to think about it that way. It's kind of hard
Mhm.
to decide. I mean, obviously they're going to keep Tatum just because if you get rid of Tatum and keep Brown, everyone's going to freak out. It's more of a media thing, in
Yeah,
my opinion, because you
I
could
think
keep
Tatum is
either
just the
and
obvious
work
choice, and I
easily
don't
the
know
same.
how much Jaylen Brown wants to stay in Boston.
Yeah,
So
I will
I
say it
think
does seem
that's
like he wants to leave. So
Mhm.
Rockets would be good, but
Rockets would be
after that Van
cool.
Fleet signing, I don't know about that. I could see
I
Jaylen
don't think they
Brown
have
to
the
the
money
Spurs.
anymore, but
I could see a lot of different
I
star
don't know who
players
you
going to
trade
the
in that
Spurs at
situation.
this point.
Jaylen Brown to the Spurs would be kind of cool.
It'd be pretty crazy. You get
That'd be a
a
cool setup.
guard who can do
He's good on
everything.
defense too, and that's
Yeah,
exactly the
guard who can
system
yam
that.
it down, shoot threes, shoot mid range,
Yeah.
paired with the future biggest overhyped bust of all. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I won't say that yet. I can't yet. But in my opinion, probably one of the bigger busts of all time. Who knows though? Wemby. Final thing
Yeah.
we'll say. Wemby. I'm actually starting to get a little bit excited to watch him play this season, but not to see how
I'm
good he is,
excited to
just to
see
see what he does.
him and Chet Holmgren play, and then them
Oh yeah.
run into each other and be out for the
Would
next
it
3 seasons.
is Chet technically available to run
Yeah,
for Rookie of the Year?
yeah. He
He
played
can run
0
for Rookie of the
games
Year? Okay.
his rookie
I'm
season.
not sure how it worked though,
You
because I
have to
didn't know
play
if they
less than
counted the
40
season.
games.
Oh really?
So Ben
Who do
Simmons
you
played. The
think could get
reason
it?
people were mad about Ben Simmons is Ben Simmons played 36 games his rookie season, and
Oh
then won
really?
Rookie of the Year in his sophomore season.
Oh okay, that makes sense. Who do you think would win
Um,
it though between Chet and Wembanyama?
Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, okay, but apart from Scoot, because he's gonna win it,
I think Wemby
guaranteed.
has a higher chance of winning it than Chet. I think
Because the
as
media or because
injuries,
he's better?
I think he's better than Chet. I didn't think
That's
Chet was
fair.
that good, and
Me neither.
I actually think that Chet is more injury prone than Wemby.
Yeah,
Um, because as skinny as Wemby is, like Chet literally has negative muscle mass, and he literally
yeah,
slipped on a tiny bit of humidity on the court and was out for an entire season.
yeah. That was pretty crazy. He couldn't handle Braun, so he
Yeah,
sat out for the season. But I think
he
I
couldn't
will
handle
say
King.
I think Chet. I don't want to say bigger. What? I'm not gonna say Chet's gonna have a bigger impact because Wemby's the only star player potentially on that team right now.
Yeah,
But I
and then
think
I mean that
OKC
Shea.
in general,
They're
yeah,
gonna be really good
OKC
next
is
year.
gonna
I think they're
have
gonna
a
be. I
crazy
think they're
core.
probably gonna win 50 games next year.
I think they'll win around. I think it'll be in between 40 and
High
50,
40.
honestly. Yeah, I think
I
like
don't know. There's
46
really
would
two
be
ways that can
reasonable.
go. If Chet gets injured again, then they're probably gonna be in the lottery. But I don't really know.
Yeah,
They have
which
no
if he gets
center at the
injured again,
moment, so
then just gotta get rid of him at that point.
they'll have no center if he gets injured.
Yeah,
They don't
but
really have. They don't really have good front court players anyway. So,
yeah, I mean Shea.
so
I wonder if he stays with them for like his career and makes that like a
I don't know if his whole
career
career. I could
situation,
see
or
him
if he
playing for
tries to go.
Toronto
Yeah,
later in his career because he's from Canada.
that's
So
true. Just become a hometown hero at the end of his career.
yeah,
Just try to
I don't
do
know if
something.
end of his career, but when this deal expires, he'll be 29 or something like that. So
Oh really?
I think he's on a 5 year
Jeez.
right now, and I think he's 24, 23, 24.
Mm, Shea contract. I'm curious. Oh wow, 5 year, 180 million contract with the OKC. So yeah, you're right. Free
How old is
agent
he?
in 2027. Let's see. So he'll be a free agent in 4 years, and he's currently 24. So he'll be 28. So he'll have some career left in him, assuming he stays healthy and stays away from guns and stuff like that. He doesn't pull a John Morant.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him doing that, to be honest.
No,
I think
he's just a good person in general.
he's the NBA drip king right now.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
not worried about it.
I think we
I
did
think that's
cover
just
everything
about
now.
everything. Like
Pretty good. So this was episode 7. So next week, back in person.
back in person,
Finally.
we'll have a much better setup, less lag, probably
Yeah.
less people
No
opening
babies
doors.
coming in. I'm gonna try to get a setup back in my house. We'll get everything figured out. We did get new mics. We got just a whole new setup. So hopefully everything goes well, and we will see you guys for episode 8 next week. Thank you for watching.